it's time to just go for it, I guess. So, if y'all are ready, I'm ready.
Yep, I'm ready when you are.
Sweet. Okay. Well, then I will count you down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. I will duck out and let LOZ Cards fan take it away. Yo, yeah.
They haven't started on my end yet.
Okay, yeah. Oh, do you have the? Here, let me send you a link to the restream. But yeah, you should be going soon. Either way, you might need to reload the restream if it's not working.
Yeah, I might have to do that.
Yeah, because they're definitely going.
Oh, I'm sorry. I've got a lot of lag. I'm gonna have to do some improvising on this.
It's fine. They're in the castle right now, or the first dungeon, I believe.
All right, I do apologize for some technical difficulties here. I'm gonna have to do it through Streamlink, and you're just gonna have to give me a time, and I'll call it from that point.
Gotcha. We're at 150 right now.
Okay. I'm sorry, I'm still having technical issues. I realize it's going through a stream here, but yeah, nothing's coming. I've got the screens both frozen.
That seems weird. Are you able to watch the Twitch stream at least? It should have not too much delay.
Well, yeah, I mean, how much latency do you think there is?
It says 7 seconds for me, so.
All right, so I'm gonna have to improvise here and just call it 7 seconds delay then, because that's
fine.
the only way I can do it. That's the only way I can do it right now.
That's okay. Just go for it.
All right. All right, folks, I do apologize for the little technical issues here, but we do have the race going underway right now between Tetraly and Sparkover. Tetraly is about to go into the northeastern part of Hyrule to pick up her 100 rupee secret, while Sparkover is going to take care of these moblins here. Looks like Sparkover wants to try to get some bombs on the board, having no bombs in reserve. Coming out of level 2, that is kind of a difficult proposition here. We see that both of our runners right now do have Triforce pieces on the board. I believe they both have the Triforce out of level 2 here. By the way, both of these runners are playing with some Link's Awakening sprites. So instead of playing as Link, they are playing as Marin, who is the female protagonist in The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening. And I want to give a special shout out to everybody who contributed to those sprites. A Tiny Fairy, Chibi Plan, Yunos, and Paxson Dave for the sprite set that is being used for today's race here at Power Up with Pride. So make sure you give all 4 of them a shout out, a follow, because they did a really good job bringing you these Link's Awakening sprites here for this race. And we see that Tetraly is able to get past the blue Lionel here and pick up that white sword, which you need 5 hearts in order to pick up. By doing so, it deals 2 hit points of damage to all of the enemies that you get past here. But, ooh, at the bottom here, Tetra is unable to get through the Tektites there and will have to go back to the start. But that actually may not be the worst death in the world. In fact, if anything, that potential death right there that Tetra took might have been intentional, just to get back to start and take a shorter path to get to, level 1 or something like that. So we have Sparkover with 5 hearts is going to be on the way to getting the 100 rupee secret, also in the northeastern section of Hyrule as well. And I'm interested to see what kind of path Tetra has taken. Tetra is not going to level 1 right now. Tetra already does have the white sword. Oh, I see. Tetra's backtracking to the screen that she took a death on, because according to tournament rules, now I know this is just a friendly race between Sparkover and Tetraly, but if you were watching the Vanilla Legend of Zelda Any Percent No Up+A tournament, there was a rule that if you took a death, you had to go back to the screen that you took the death on before you may proceed in the race. So, being a good sport, Tetraly decided to go back to the screen, the waterfall, which is where she died, so that she could continue her quest. But in the meantime, Sparkover is going to gain some ground on Tetra, picked up the white sword here, so now Sparkover can do 2 hit points of damage every time he strikes the enemy there. So we got a very interesting race developing between these 2 fine runners. Again, this is no Up+A, so you cannot pause and hit Up+A with controller 2 in order to bring up the kill screen. That is not allowed in this race. Tetra's here in level 1. You saw Tetra do a pirouette. What she did was she entered the door to get to level 1. Then she exited the door and went back into Dungeon 1. And by doing so, that is a free key that you don't have to worry about using, because the door to the north of start will automatically open. And Sparkover, on her way to level 1 as well, will also do the same thing. Go into level 1, back out of level 1, and then go back into level 1 in order to get rid of the door to the north of start. Tetra, meanwhile, has just picked up the bow, which is half of the puzzle pieces that you need in order to defeat Ganon. So halfway home to what we need. Of course, the second half is much later into this run. Looking at the resource management right now, 196 rupees for Tetra, and right now, Sparkover has just crossed the 150 rupee threshold. So right now, the Tetra does have the resource management in terms of money, but we'll see if it stays that way through the entire race. They've got these wall masters here in level 1. You definitely want to be careful, because if you get hit by a wall master, you're going to have to go back all the way to the beginning of the dungeon, and there's a dungeon later on where if that happens, that is not a pleasant experience, as Tetra has just picked up her second Triforce piece, the one out of level 1. Sparkover is just about ready to pick up the bow. Now is in the dungeon, in the staircase, has the bow picked up right now, so now Sparkover is halfway home to eating everything she needs to defeat Ganon. Next up, Tetra is going to be heading into level 3, and believe me, I just started running traditional dungeon order, and level 3 can get a little dicey without that blue ring, because a lot of the enemies in that dungeon take 1 heart of damage if you get hit, because you're dealing with the orange dark nuts, and of course, everybody's favorite boss of the Zelda series, Troll Handler. We see that Tetra has gone into the candle shop and it has purchased the blue candle for 60 rupees. Now, you have two options when it comes to routing this out. You can either purchase a blue candle for 60 rupees, or when we get to level 7, you can get the red candle that is behind a diamond staircase, because you're going to need at least one of the candles in order to progress into level 8. We see that Sparkover has taken care of the Aquamentus and has picked up her second Triforce piece as well. And Tetra has now just entered level 3. So level 3 here, we've got these Zols here. Again, these are the nice enemy sprites that are taken from Link's Awakening. And again, really, really good job to everybody who developed these sprites and brought them here for our special Power Up with Pride Zelda No Up+A race. Of course, you got these orange dart nuts. Now, most of the top speedrunners are actually going to do level 3 first, and their hope is that they take care of the first orange dart nut and they get that lucky bomb drop, because bombs are very precious, especially in this room right here, because you have to clear these 5 orange dart nuts, and each of these dart nuts has 4 hit points. So you're talking 2 white sword hits. They would have a wooden sword if you were going to level 3 first. So you're talking 2 white sword hits. But if you can line those bombs up properly, you can take care of those dart nuts just like that. And we see that Tetra landed her bomb shots pretty darn perfectly. So that was a pretty easy room there for Tetra. And her reward is she's going to be picking up this raft here. And you have to have this raft in order to go into level 4, the next level in the game. So right now, Tetra's sitting pretty with her 6 bombs and maximum health, as Sparkover has just entered level 3 herself, but she has no bombs to her name. However, if she does decide to take care of the 3 orange dart nuts at the beginning of the dungeon, then she will get an automatic pack of 4 bombs. Of course, she'd love to get a second drop of bombs because, as we all know, orange dart nuts are in the bomb dropping group. So there's a 30% chance that if you do get a drop, that they're going to drop that bomb. That's what Sparkover's hoping for right now. Tetra is into the troll handler room, and bullseye! Tetra gets the manhandler with a single bomb, but unfortunately, that shot was a little bit too clean, so Tetra is going to miss out on the bomb drop, but that was still a very efficient and very effective kill of manhandler right there. So good job for Tetra. That is her 3rd Triforce piece. Meanwhile, Sparkover is going to try her luck in this 5 orange dart nut room. Now, the key with landing these bombs here is, gets a timely clock drop there, does Sparkover, so doesn't even have to worry about using the bombs there. Not only that, Sparkover gets another candy bomb drop from the orange dart nuts as well. That takes her up to 7 bombs, so that's going to be plenty of bombs to take down Manhandla, as Sparkover is going to go ahead and pick up this raft. Nice job there by Sparkover to take care of a fairly difficult room. Now, what I was going to say before that clock drop happened for Sparkover is when you throw the bombs down on the dart nuts, you don't want to throw the bombs while the dart nuts are coming right at you. Because if you try to set down a bomb as they're coming right at you, they're just going to deflect the bomb shot and you're going to deal no damage whatsoever. And Tetra is going to go ahead into the shop here and purchase this blue ring here for 250 rupees. And by doing so, Tetra's defense is going to double. So the amount of damage taken will now be 1/2 the base value. Let's see how Sparkover does against Manhandla. Cannot get the bullseye. Only gets 3/4 of the Manhandla. And Sparkover is in trouble. 1 bomb to go. And nails it on the final shot, so Sparkover survives the Manhandla fight and gets the Triforce out of level 3. That's the good news for Sparkover. The bad news for Sparkover is she has no bombs to her credit, and she's going to need at least 2 bombs in order to complete level 2 efficiently, because there are a couple of bomb holes there. Otherwise, Sparkover's going to have to take care of another Manhandla, so Sparkover's going to have no choice but to farm these blue moblins in the hopes of a candy bomb drop somewhere. Meanwhile, Tetra has just started level 4, taking care of some Zols here. Now, here's the reason why having bombs in level 4 is quite, very, very important here. The reason why it's so important is because you cannot get bombs from any enemies in level 4 because the only enemy that is going to drop bombs are these fires. But when you use a wooden sword or even a white sword against the fire, they split into 2 red keys. And those 2 red keys, they don't drop anything. So the only way you can get bomb drops from fires is you have to use bombs to get more bombs. So knowing your 10 count is absolutely positively very important in order to do very well when you're lacking on bombs. Good breakfast room there by Tetra as she's going to pick up her ladder, which is a very useful item that you need in many sections of the game. Sparkover has just purchased her blue ring for 250 rupees, so now her defense has been doubled, so that'll make things a lot easier on the combat side of the game. Sparkover having a little bit of trouble with the screen scrolling, but does manage to pull it off the second time here as she makes her way into level 4 right now. And what Tetra just did there, it's a very, very difficult procedure that you just saw right there. That is a ladder clip through a T room, and it is very, very difficult to pull off. It takes a lot of practice, but it looks all swag as heck when it is done correctly here. Tetra's taking care of this final fire room here before she goes up against this 2-headed Gleeok. Normally you need 16 hits with the wood sword, but since we've got a white sword, it's just 5 hits for the first head, 3 hits for the second head for a grand total of 8 hits. Tetra's making quick work of that Gleeok right here, and down goes the Gleeok. So level 4 is completed for Tetra. She's now got half of the 8 Triforce pieces she needs in order to be eligible to go into level 9. Meanwhile, Sparkover is taking care of the breakfast room herself. Just needs to take care of those legs. Very good breakfast room there by Sparkover. So she's going to go ahead, get into the staircase, and pick up this ladder right here as well. So right now, Tetra has a pretty decent lead on Sparkover, but anything can happen in The Legend of Zelda because anytime you take a death, you have to go back into the room that you took a death on. If you took that death very deep into a dungeon, that is several minutes you're going to lose right there, and when that happens, your opponent can gain ground just like that. So you just never know what might happen in The Legend of Zelda. Let's see how Sparkover does on doing this T-room ladder clip right here. Very nicely done. Gets through the T-room with very little trouble. Well played here. As Tetra's going to make her way into the forest here, burn down this bush, and pick up the third and final 100 rupee secret. There are 3 100 rupee secrets scattered throughout the land of Hyrule. 7 that are worth 30 rupees and 4 that are worth 10 rupees. And in addition, is going to go ahead and get this heart container. That is the 9th heart container for Tetra on the way to the 12 hearts that she's going to need to pick up the magical sword. A very, very solid Gleeok fight there by Sparkover. Going to pick up the 4th Triforce piece herself. Also has the same number of Triforce pieces that Tetra has. So Sparkover keeping up with Tetra here in the Triforce department. But Tetra's going to be on her way to pick up a couple more hearts. There's going to be one. There is the ladder item on the coast, as I like to call it, for the Zelda randomizer races. That's going to be heart number 10. But that's not going to be all. There is going to be another heart container that's going to be at the raft spot. Now, Tetra will have a choice if she wants to go with the heart container at this point, or maybe pick up that red potion that will enable you to refill your health twice for free. And Tetra has decided to pick up the potion so she can refill her health twice. I think that's a very smart move on Tetra's part because, hey, you just never know if level 5 is going to be Trolly. And those blue dart nuts, they do quite a bit of damage, and There's one room we like to call the Room of Requirement, and it's called the Room of Requirement because you have to complete this room in order to get the treasure that is buried into level 5 that is known as the Recorder. We see that Sparkover is now on the coast as well. Now, Sparkover's trying to farm these levers here, and I wonder if she's trying to build up a 10 count here. Well, there's a lucky bomb drop from the blue dart nuts. That is very cool right there. So that's going to take her up to 6 bombs. Tetra does a nice screen scroll here to make her way into level 5. And a lot of pitfalls here in level 5. We've got these Gibdos here. And without a ring, they deal 2 hearts of damage. And they are pretty strong. They take 4 white sword hits in order to go down. However, they're not the most difficult enemy. Gibdos are pretty easy to manage if you keep your distance. But here is where things really get tough and definitely test your skill of playing The Legend of Zelda. Now, this first blue dart nut room, I was going to say that it's not really a big deal, but Tetra's having some problems doing the block clip here and has taken a couple of bombs already from the blue dart nuts. That's going to cost her 1 heart every time she gets hit by a blue dart nut. If she didn't have that blue ring, she'd be losing 2 hearts. And now, coming up, she is going to go into the Room of Requirement. 6 blue dart nuts, and you have to defeat them all because you just have that single push block. And in order to push that block, you have to clear all of the blue dart nuts. So we were going to see how she does in this room, but Sparkover is catching up. Nice screen scroll right there. Is able to make it into level 5 herself. And Tetra's down to 2 bombs. Also is getting down there on health. So Tetra's going to have to be careful. Now, luckily, with the white sword, it's 4 white sword instead of the 8 with the wood sword. But still, it's a tough battle. And if your combat is not in tip-top shape, you're going to take a death here. And Tetra's getting down there in health. Now is down to 3 hearts. Still has 5 blue dart nuts remaining to go. And Sparkover's catching up, has 7 bombs. I'll tell you what, if Sparkover can land some good bomb shots, she could catch up and maybe even take the lead, but Tetra just disposed of the last couple of blue dart nuts and is going to keep her lead as she picks up what looks like the ocarina that you might find in Link's Awakening. But it is actually the Recorder, which is used not only to gain access into level 7, but it is used for transportations to dungeons that you've already completed. A very useful item in this game, and a very useful item in Zelda Randomizer as well. Pretty good Room of Requirement for Sparkover. Just 1 blue dart nut to go, and he got him. Very nice done for Sparkover. She's going to go ahead and pick up this ocarina herself, or the Recorder, whatever you might want to call it. And I tell you what, Sparkover gained some serious time on Tetra. She's definitely in this race, folks. This is all of a sudden become about a 20-25 second race. I mean, Tetra had a lead of over a minute. And, Tetra's not out of the woods yet. She's down to just 2 hearts, and that's not much room for error here. She also only has 1 bomb to work with, so she can't do the double bomb kill in order to take down the Dig Dogger that's going to be coming up, while as Sparkover with the 5 bombs can use bombs on the Dig Dogger if she well pleases. Alright, Tetra's just a couple of rooms away from going into level 5. Ooh, meanwhile, Sparkover was trying to farm for some bombs from the Dodongo, but instead of Brodongos, we get Troll Dongos, and just swallowed up the bomb and is not able to get the stun lock to just stab the Dodongo and get your free set of 4 bombs. So a bad break there for Sparkover, as Tetra disposes of the Dig Dogger with just a half a heart to spare. Wow, what a clutch kill there for Tetra. Gonna go ahead and pick up her 5th Triforce piece. Boy, that was too close for comfort right there. One more hit from anything, and Tetra would have had to go back to the start of the dungeon, and that would have enabled Sparkover to take the lead on her. My goodness gracious, that was close. So let's see now how Sparkover does against this Dig Dogger. Has plenty of bombs. Will she go for the 1-bomb strat or the 2-bomb strat? Going for the 1-bomb strat, and that's a very immaculate kill right there. Well played by Sparkover. She also has her 5th Triforce piece. Tell you what, she's definitely gained some ground on Tetra in this race right now. I'm going to have to get some times here as we go into level 7. Now, before these runners can go into level 7, these two are going to go on a shopping spree. They're going to purchase this bait here that costs 60 rupees, and you need it in order to get past the Hungry Gorilla that guards the second half of level 7. The second thing they're going to be purchasing is a set of wooden arrows for 80 rupees. And by doing so, you're able to take down the Goma that resides as the boss of level 6. Because Tetra had extra rupees, she decided to go ahead and purchase some bombs for 20 rupees. That's an interesting choice, but I don't blame her for this move. And the reason I don't blame her for this move is because you want to have at least 7 bombs in order to get through level 7 efficiently. Unfortunately, Tetra only has 4 bombs, so she's either going to have to get a lucky candy bomb from an orange gorilla, have to force a 10 count and bomb the 10th enemy without getting hit, or she's going to have to clear one of the 2 blue gorilla rooms that has a forced bomb drop after you full clear the room. So we'll see what kind of strategy she decides to take. Now, Sparkover didn't have the extra cash to purchase the extra bomb. So both of our runners at the moment are sitting on just 3 rupees. So we'll see what kind of strategy these runners are going to have in mind, because they're going to need, again, you want to have at least 5 bombs in level 7, but 7 is optimally what you want to have. Interesting. Sparkover going to the room on the right from start, and that's a good choice because that Moldorm room has a set of 4 bombs. So that was a very strong play there that Sparkover made. A very easy enemy to take down and is able to take care of the bomb situation. Unfortunately, well, she's taking a different path here. This is definitely not a path I've seen before, but I think it works just the same here. So I believe that Sparkover is going to be in good shape. Just took a little bit of a detour there. Very nice strat there by Sparkover. Tetra, meanwhile, is setting the bait traps for these gorillas here, and she's going to be coming up against the master gorilla that says, "Grumble, grumble." He's very hungry, and you can't pass unless you give him that bait, which Tetra does right there, and continue her progress into level 7. It looks like Sparkover's using those same bait strats in order to get past the gorillas here. And Tetra, of course, doesn't need to get the red candle from that staircase because she already purchased the blue candle. That actually applies to Sparkover as well. Doesn't need to grab the red candle out of level 7. And, this looks like a good bomb placement for Tetra. Gonna go for the double bomb strat to take care of the 3 Dig Dogger segments. Let's see if she's able to land the shots. And she got it, and gets a fairy in the process. Back to full health, Tetra goes. That was a very nice Dig Dogger kill right there for Tetra. And Sparkover gets a candy bomb drop from the orange gorilla, so now her bombs are maximized to 8, and that could come in handy. Now, Tetra's got to be very careful here in this reverse C room. This is the less famous of the 2 reverse C rooms that the runners come to know and not love so much, but Tetra gets through it, no problem at all. The strategy is this. You want to hope that the bubbles don't get into the way of the wall masters. Otherwise, you could use the wooden arrows, if you've got extra rupees on hand, because you definitely don't want to get wall mastered in that room, because you're talking about a 2-minute loss if the wall masters grab you in that reverse C room right there. Tetra, not the cleanest of Aquamentus fights right there, but does get the job done. That's going to be her 6th Triforce piece. Oh! Sparkover gets grabbed by the Wall Master in level 7, and that could be all she wrote, folks. Oh, you definitely didn't want to see that situation in a race. Ooh, very tough break there for Sparkover. Back to the start of level 7 she goes. Yikes. Right now, it's looking like it's Tetra's race to lose at this point. Oh, the infamous reverse C, not the famous reverse C of level 9, but the infamous reverse C of level 7, claiming another victim. What a tough break right there. Tetra trying to do the screen scroll so that she doesn't have to do the maze in the Deadwoods, and does so fantastically. So well played there by Tetra to get into the graveyard, and behind one of these stones is a staircase, and behind that staircase is the most powerful sword of the game. It's the magical sword. It's going to double their attack power one more time, so every time they strike the enemy with the magical sword, it's going to do 4 hit points of damage. Oh, man, you got to feel bad for Sparkover. I mean, she had gained a ton of ground on Tetra because of how well she played that Room of Requirement in level 5, only for the Wall Masters to snatch it all away from her. Oh, man, just a tough break there for Sparkover. Tetra's just entered level 6 and is going to take care of the orange wizard room on the right in order to pick up an extra key. So that's the reason why you're going to go into that room. There might have been a key that she might have wanted to grab at an earlier point, but it just didn't work out for her. Or maybe that's just the route that she normally does take. Ooh, it takes care of the master Wizrobe in this room, and I believe that was a free set of bombs that the orange Wizrobe just dropped right there. So now she's got the maximum of 8 bombs. And it is true, as John Taven has pointed out in chat, it is not over yet, because remember, if any death happens in level 9, now of course Tetra does have 2 potions, so if her health gets down somewhere in level 9, she can get all of her health back. But right now, at this point, it's going to take a level 9 death for Sparkover to catch up at this point. But anything can happen in The Legend of Zelda. Tetraly taking care of the first of 2 what we like to call magical breakfast rooms. You've got your pancakes, you've got your eggs, and you've got your Wizrobes. Now, some people call it sausage, some people call it bacon, but let's just call them Wizrobes for the day. Ooh, Tetra getting trolled here by these Wizrobes here, trying to pick up this key in the middle of the room, and that is going to deplete Tetra of a good portion of her health, half of her health, more than half of her health. So now these guys that are saying that this race ain't over till it's over, well, you just never know. She might have to burn a potion if this second breakfast room doesn't go the way that it's supposed to go. Now, we have Sparkover just picking up the magical sword herself, so now her attack power has doubled again. Tetra just has 1 more pancake to deal with in the second magical breakfast room, and got him. Tetra is through the second magical breakfast room and is just a few rooms away from completing level 6. Sparkover does get through this Wizrobe room, takes care of the master Wizrobe, and gets a bomb drop for her efforts. So same level pegging here is that she's going to have 8 bombs going into the first magical breakfast room. Of course, the orange Wizrobe gives her a bomb drop that she totally didn't need. Takes a couple of shots, takes down the Goma, and that is the 7th Triforce picked up by Tetra. A very good level 6 there, and she is going to be on her way to the last dungeon before level 9. Meanwhile, Sparkover did a really good job taking care of the first magical breakfast room here in level 6, and will be on her way to the second breakfast room in just a couple of rooms. Tetra's going to whistle her way back to level 2, and that is going to be a very short path in order to get to level 8. Man, oh man, Tetra getting an embarrassment of bombs when she doesn't even need them. When I play this game, why can't I get bombs when I'm at 0? In any event, Tetra getting all the bombs that she doesn't need, so she's going to be ready to go into level 8, burn down this bush, and there is the staircase opening up, and Tetra is now on her way. Here comes Manhandla again. Oh, that was almost a bullseye kill right there. Right, ridiculous stuff there. That was almost a perfect Manhandla kill that Tetra got right there. And look at this, another bomb drop. that appeared to be a forced bomb drop right there that Tetra got. She must have built her 10 count and was able to get it stored, and by killing the next blue dart nut was able to get another set of bombs, because blue dart nuts are normally not in the bomb dropping group, they're in the health dropping group. Nice one-shot kill of Goma there by Sparkover. I tell you what, that was a very, very good level 6 that Sparkover just put up right there. That's going to be her 7th Triforce piece. Man, oh man, we're seeing a lot of display of good combat here today from both of our runners here. Tetra just has a couple more blue dart nuts left to go here. Having a little trouble with that last one. Down goes the last blue dart nut right there. So here we go. Getting through this staircase right here, trying not to get hit. Done pretty well there by Tetra. And is just one bomb to the north away from facing off against not 2, not 3, but a 4-headed Gleeok. 4 heads. Now, if you just had the wood sword, you're talking about 28 hits. But with the magical sword, that Gleeok goes down like a hot knife through butter. It's 3 for the first head and 2 for the other 3 heads. That's a total of 9 hits. That was a very good Gleeok fight there by Tetra, and that means the 8th Triforce piece, all 8 Triforces now for Tetra. She is now eligible to go into level 9. She has 16 rupees and 6 bombs to her name. Now, 6 bombs is just enough of what you need in order to get through level 9, but I bet you'd like to have more bombs going into level 9, so we'll see if she gets lucky or not. Sparkover getting ready to do the second Blue Lagoon room. Now, the reason we call it the Blue Lagoon room is you've got these blue dart nuts, the same ones that do 2 hearts of damage, that have 8 hit points. But this time you got the magical sword, so they only go down to 2 hits. But the other reason why we call it the Blue Lagoon room, you've got these BMOS turret statues that are shooting fireballs at you, and they make the room go very slowly. I'll tell you what, that was a good Blue Lagoon room that Sparkover just completed. That second one was good. And does get the bomb drop from the blue Lionel as Tetra. So now she is in excellent shape going into level 9 with bombs to spare. Sparkover taking care of the 4-headed Gleeok, and down he goes. Doesn't even bother grabbing the 14th heart container. So Sparkover's going to have 13 hearts, whereas Tetra will have 14 hearts, so all 8 Triforces have been picked up by both of our players. Now, the bad news for Tetra is she has already lost her beam sword, so that's going to make things a little bit more tough from the get-go, because you kind of want to have that beam sword against the Wizrobes and the Patras that are coming up here, because, let's face it, nobody likes Patra in this game. I mean, they're spinning around. Their eyes are, they're approaching at you. They expand. They do 2 hearts of damage when you have no ring. Tetra trying to get through Patra 1, who takes 1 bomb, but that was not too bad. If you take just the 1 bomb, that's not a bad Patra 1 right there. So very good job there by Tetra. Sparkover still has her beam sword, is able to get, having a little bit of trouble with the screen scroll here. Very good first Wizrobe room there by Tetra. Let's see if Sparkover can do this second screen scroll. Yeah, that was a very good job there. Now, can she keep her beam sword? Yes, she can. She's now on her way into level 9. Tetra's sitting in good shape right now. She's sitting on 12.5 hearts, going up to Patra 2. Getting a good pattern here. Now, let's see if she's able to get a clip here. Now, she missed her chance there and just got rejected as if Dikembe Mutombo was rejecting some player's shot. Not in my house! Ha ha ha! So Tetra's just going to have to go ahead and clear Patra 2, which actually might not be a bad strategy because, well, she's got this big lead already, but also, when she comes out of that staircase, she won't have to deal with it the second time around. So that's a pretty good strategy just to take care of Patra 2 right then and there. Now, of course, I run glitchless, so you have to take care of Patra 2 in order to get through that staircase. So let's see how Tetra does against Reverse C. She is going to have quite a few extra bombs, because I believe she'll have 5 extra bombs for Reverse C here. So let's see how she does. She's used 3 of them right there. 1 blue Wizrobe left to go. I'll tell you what, that was a really, really good reverse C room there by Tetra, and a good use of the bombs there as well. Meanwhile, Sparkover was able to get through Patra 1 without getting hit. Nicely done there. Still has her beam sword going into the first required blue Wizrobe, who, and would you look at this, gets a candy bomb drop from the orange Wizrobes, has the maximum. And look at this, another bomb drop for Sparkover. Bombs for days. My goodness gracious. Now, Tetra does have to be careful here, having a little trouble with the diamond clip going back from reverse C. And this is a room you don't want to panic. You do have these blue Wizrobes, but Tetra's got to be careful here. She's down to 2 hearts. She's going to have to drink the first of her 2 potions here. And that's a tough room. If you miss that reverse clip the first time around, runners tend to panic, and then they end up missing all over the place. And that's where runners get into trouble right there. So Tetra, unfortunately, having some issues trying to block clip here. Still having issues here, even after drinking the potion. Finally just says, I'm going to take you blue Wizrobes down, and has cleared the rest of that room. But, oh, boy, she couldn't have been happy about the performance of that diamond clip room. In any event, though, she still has the lead. But Sparkover has gained some time on Tetra, that's for sure. Sparkover's definitely pushing, and she's going to have to. She wants any hope of getting back to this race. That was a very, very good reverse C room right there by Sparkover. So it's going to go into the staircase right here and pick up the silver arrows, which is the weapon you need in order to finish off Ganon. So both of our runners having all the puzzle pieces they need in order to defeat the beast. Oh, look at this. Tetra getting the clock of the day. The final required Wizrobe room gets a clock from the orange Wizrobe. Doesn't even have to worry about the other blue Wizrobes, and that very well may be the nail in the coffin to this race. What a clock drop that Tetra just got right there. Now Sparkover, because she didn't kill the second Patra, has to deal with Patra 2 now, but is able to find a line and is able to breeze around Patra 2. Nicely done there by Sparkover. But it just might be too little too late. Nice grayscale! We've got grayscale swag on Tetra's side. Welcome to Legend of Zelda 1940s edition. It's Patra 3, the last thing that stands in Tetra's way before she'll have a chance to take down Ganon. And we have Patra 3 down, and ladies and gentlemen, here's Ganon! We're looking for 4 hits with the magical sword, a high roll driver, or a Ganon hug, as some people like to call it. It's going to cost you 2 hearts. We have 3 hits coming up. And there's the 4th hit. Down goes Ganon. We've got bacon. And now Tetra just has to get through the flames surrounding Princess Zelda, and that will do it. Tetraly is your winner of the any percent no up and race here at Power Up with Pride. Get your GGs out for Tetra.
GG, Tetra. Congratulations.
I must say, I'll tell you what, Sparkover gained a ton of ground, even after getting wall mastered in level 7. And I'll tell you what, she didn't get wall mastered, she might win this race, because she has been flying 6, 8, and 9 like they've been a hot knife through butter. And one more time, wall mastered. Here's Ganon win this race. 4 hits. Let's see how Sparkover does. And we've got 2 hits. Looking for the stun lock to try to get the last 2 hits. Does have the push in hand. Watch out. One more high roll driver. And she's not going to take any chances here. She's going to go ahead and drink the last bit of her potion here. Just needs 1 more hit in order to take down Ganon. She's going to get, well, bombs won't do any good against Ganon. You got to get those silver arrows ready. There it is. Down goes Ganon. We've got another Triforce of Power and more bacon, as Sparkover has just completed her run. Also, get your GGs out for Sparkover. We have our official times here. It's 41 minutes and 51 seconds for Tetra and 43 minutes and 8 seconds for Sparkover. And I'll tell you what, Sparkover made a valiant effort to come back even after getting wall mastered. She gained a lot of time on Tetra after that mishap, but in the end, that deficit just proved to be too much for Sparkover to overcome, but it was still a very good display for both of our runners. Please make sure you give both Sparkover and Tetraly a follow. They did a tremendous job today here at Power Up with Pride.
That was extremely close. We've had so many good races here at Power Up with Pride this year, and that is super exciting to me. GG to Sparkover as well. GG to everybody, and thank you for the fantastic commentary, LOZ. Everybody in chat absolutely adored it.
Thank you very much, and thank you very much for having me here at Power Up with Pride. I appreciate it, and I'm glad you guys enjoyed the commentary, and hopefully you'll have me back for another race in the future.
Absolutely. If it's my decision, I absolutely would have you back. No questions asked. So hope to see you for Winter Pride.
All right, sounds good, and we can't wait to see what our next event is, and I hope you enjoyed the race.
Yeah, sure did. Thanks. I think that's it. You can take us to intermission, Fleck.